Good evening, everyone. We'll call our July Tree and Storm Water Advisory Board call to order. Thank you, and thank you, everybody, for and welcome to our July meeting. Can I take a motion to approve the agenda tonight?
I'll motion for approval of minutes.
Okay.
I'll second.
All right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Agenda approved. Second item, we'll approve the minutes from our April 10th meeting. Can I get a motion for that?
So we just do that.
Yeah. Okay, we just did it. All right. Okay, item number 3, we'll move over to the public comment. Nobody's in attendance from the public tonight. Guy, do you have anything from the public?
Just occasional, want to talk about ash trees, down trees, if it's city's responsible or they're responsible, but if it's on their property, of course, it's the homeowner's responsibility.
Okay.
When we had kind of some recent storms come through, a lot of people assumed that we'd pick up their trees and brush and stuff like that, but it's not what we consider a emergency, like a derecho or what have you. So we had to let people know that they still are responsible for taking care of their trees and brush that get rid of. Cool. That's about all I've heard from the public.
All right. Thank you. Move on to the next item, which is our board member terms. City fiscal year begins July 1st. So at the beginning of fiscal years, board member terms come up and new board members are brought in. So we are welcoming a new board member this year, Mr. Daniel Green. Do you go by Dan or Daniel?
Dan's fine.
Dan is fine. Okay. Welcome to the board. Also, kind of go through and as a reminder for everybody's term duration. So your term is usually 3 years from when you're appointed. So Dan's going to go until 2027, June of 2027. Kevin, you and I are about the same, June 2023 to June 2026. And then Danielle goes to 27. Dan goes to 27, and
That's it.
okay, all right, cool. Let's see, sweet.
Yep, got it.
All right. Next item on our agenda is with the beginning of the fiscal year, we have our board positions are up for renewal. So our board has 3 elected positions: the chairperson, the vice chair, and the secretary. So the chairperson runs the meeting, the vice chair runs the meeting when the chairperson is not here, and the secretary takes the minutes and submits it for approval and publication. So I'll take nominations for anybody who would like to run for chairperson. Anybody interested? It's pretty easy. You sit in front of a microphone, gavel every once in a while, and run the meeting. So,
I think you do a great job.
all right. No nomination? You have to nominate somebody.
I will nominate you.
All right. Thank you for your nomination, Mike.
I'm given.
All in favor of, I accept your nomination, and all in favor for my appointment as a chairperson for the fiscal 2025 year, say aye.
Aye.
Yeah, thank you. All right, move on to the vice chair. Our current vice chair is Mr. Kevin McCrane.
That's actually Michael.
Oh, Mike is?
Michael, yep.
Oh, secretary.
Secretary.
Yep.
All right, Mike is our vice chair, and your position is up, and I'll take a nomination for vice chair. I'll go ahead and nominate.
What?
Well, all right, I'm gonna stand back. All right, anybody's got a nomination?
I'll go for vice chair if Michael wants to work on minutes.
I can do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
All right, Kevin for vice chair. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you. And secretary, Mike. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you. So we have our board leadership established.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, next up are tree reports. Guy, take it away.
I'll start it out, but I'll let Brian finish it up. fall tree planting at Penn Meadows Park. It's our Mid-America Trees Please grant. Seems like I always talk about the Mid-America Trees Please grant, but we've kind of held off planting because it's been so wet and it's been hard for them to dig. Now it's getting a little bit drier. Now we're into the wrong time of year to plant trees, so we are going to wait more towards fall. As long as we have the trees in the ground and I have my status report sent in by October 25th, we'll be doing good. So I'm thinking sometime in September, we'll probably get these trees and plant them. But they're going to replace ash trees and some of the failed trees at Penn Meadows Park. They're all shade trees, especially for the ball fields that provide shade, future shade. So that's where that is going this round. So saying that, I'm going to turn the next one over to Brian.
Tree and landscaping, summer maintenance. Now's the time of the year where we don't have to water much, but we still water our 3-year-old trees and younger. This is our time when we start mulching and stuff too. Just trying to stay ahead and keep that moisture in the soil. Another thing we do, trimming of all our dead branches. Dead only, that's the key. Cut any live stuff, you're kind of opening yourself up to disease and pathogens. Except when it comes to like storm damage. When you get storm damage, you got to clear it out right away. Otherwise, same as just making a wound. Number 3, we have ash tree removal progress. We did have one ash tree out at Creekside. We had a concerned citizen that was along our timber line, and he's concerned that if the wind blew the proper direction, it would come close to his property, his deck. So we decided to go out there, take a look, and said, yeah, we'll go ahead and take that down. So we brought out our big lift. You probably saw a big orange lift out there. That one's not ours, but we have one just like it. So we went out there and dropped the tree for the citizen, so he has no concern. And that was the one where he wanted us to leave about a 15-foot trunk of it because I guess he wants to have some sort of a chainsaw carver come out and carve it into something.
Hawkeye theme or something.
Okay, so I was like, yeah, why not? So that tree was pretty easy to take down. It was a good opportunity to get some good training in. I trained our newest employee, Trevin, on the lift. He got him some air time in there. He did a pretty good job, and I'd like to just give him a shout out that he did a fantastic job. So I was up in there in the lift with him, showing him how to properly drop it because he's never had any kind of that experience with the lift. So, yeah, that's about it for ash trees. I don't have any others scheduled to come down, so we're holding on. Our treatments seem to be working. I mean, I know this because the tree that we had taken down in Creekside, no leaves, no nothing, and the ones that we are treating, like in our parks, like Penn Meadows and stuff, they're fully leafed, still good to go. So I know our treatments are working.
Do you have to do those indefinitely?
As long as the pest is around, yes. So it's going to be an annual thing, year after year after year. So we kind of have some legacy trees around that we'd really like to save that provide a lot of shade and benefit for our structures. So yeah, we're giving it the old try. So
Emerald ash borer is driving from the east going to the west, and it's just like a storm. Basically, there's a front.
No.
And it just keeps moving forward and forward and forward. So once they have all the ash trees and their food supply gone, they just keep moving forward. So we're hoping if we can get through that with some of these ash trees, that maybe we won't have the pest around as prevalent as we do. Yeah. So we'll see. We won't know until it actually gets to that point. But probably 10, 15 years ago or down the line. So I might be retired by then. I don't know.
Cool.
But hey, even if I like to throw out there, even if it doesn't work, and we got another 10, 15 years out of our trees, which is fantastic.
Yeah,
so
that is true.
Definitely worth the investment, I feel. So.
Cool. Thank you. Any other tree questions for? Any other tree? No question. Okay.
No.
All right. We'll move over to stormwater.
Good evening, everyone. It's kind of weird. I don't have much going on right now. I've just been doing a lot of work with updating our permit and making some management plans for the city. Pretty boring stuff. So we have been working on the Middle Iowa Watershed Management Authority. And we have, tomorrow's our kickoff meeting, we'll call it. We've been around for almost a year now, but this is the main event that brings in the consultant that's going to be working with us to kind of introduce them to the communities and everyone around it. I think the email went out to, 150 some people to come to the event. Not that many will show up, and we can just kind of go over what the plan is about everything then. And then once we get that from the consultant, I can share that with you guys as well. And then you can kind of take a look at what we've been working on. Other than that, it's been pretty laid back, just business as usual in the stormwater world. So I don't have a whole lot else to talk about tonight.
I can take the next one.
Okay. All right.
All right, so we experienced another fish kill at Freedom Park this time. This is probably the first time that I can recall having one on this scale. It seems like our ponds, they just take their turn. I don't know why, but they take their turn. Anyway, it happened to be Freedom Park. And it took out mostly the grass carp. The reason for this fish kill was determined to be a lack of oxygen. Mm-hmm. We had a lot of overcast day. It takes sun to make oxygen, and it was hot. It was back June 19th. Mm-hmm. So that's what contributed to it. We always keep in good communications with the fishery, or the DNR fishery from Lake Pride. Paul Sleeper just came out and looked, and he said, "Yep, it's oxygen depletion." And he basically said it's nature's way of thinning out population. It's probably overcrowded. A lot of our ponds are getting overcrowded. Just the fact that they don't get fished out. I mean, most people catch and release.
Yeah.
So I think it's just a natural occurrence, but it does take a lot of our staff time to go out there and clean all this stuff up. So anyway, that's what we did. If you ask where we took them, they go into our compost piles,
yeah.
and mix them in and make good compost.
Was it a large quantity of fish, or?
I think it was over 100 carp, around 100 carp. I mean, and I think on the average size, probably 20 pounds. Wow. Some of them might have been 30 pounds. But yeah, they're pretty good size.
I know when I took my son fishing there, and you could see there looked like a whale coming up to the top. They were huge. I did notice there was a lot of green on the surface. I don't know if you call it algae or what you would call that. Is that something we've seen on more of the ponds?
Yeah, that does not deplete oxygen unless you kill too much of it off. If you say you treat it and spray it and kill it, then that depletes oxygen also. The algae that's on didn't have anything to do with the actual fish kill.
Okay.
But saying that, we do put the enzyme bacteria product into our ponds, and we have treated twice already for algae. However, all this rain has probably
Washes moved it out.
diluted it some, so we'll probably have to go back and do it again.
Okay.
So it's every year is different when it comes to managing detention ponds. Some years are crystal clear, and some years you're fighting algae. We haven't had too bad. I mean, I've seen a lot worse.
Yeah.
A lot of private ponds around here. Mm-hmm. I think we do a fairly good job of keeping algae out. The grass carp, I think, do a great job. So once they get to this size, the ones that died, they kind of get lazy and they don't do their job anymore. So in reality, it's a good thing that we thin them out, because then we're going to come back in and we're going to probably restock.
Oh, we actually restocked the carps? I thought those were invasive species.
Yes and no. They're a type of grass carp that are infertile. They don't reproduce.
Okay.
So it's not like we throw them in and they just keep reproducing and take over ponds.
Yeah.
No, that's not the case.
Okay.
There has been some controversy that maybe they stir up sediment and nutrients and cause more algae, but I think in our case, they've done a pretty good job. keeping algae out. I think it's all depends on where you're at and what kind of inflow of water you have and stuff like that. So
All right. Any other stormwater topics? Mike, are you done with the mapping of the?
Yep, we are completed with that. So we'll just keep adding as development comes up.
Got it.
And there's a few that we're finding out there that were either missed or there's some information that needed updated. So as we work through and find stuff like that, we just take care of that quickly. So
Got it. Cool.
I know the last time there was some pending legislation that was looking at stormwater. Did any of that come to fruition or any major changes on that front?
yeah, it did pass.
Okay.
We're still working on, we don't believe there's going to be much change at all with the way that we work here. And most of the communities around us are going to have very little to no change also. It was worded a way that doesn't really affect us.
Okay.
We'll say that.
Good.
So it's all still kind of, we're going to see what happens. It's going to come down to who's going to be the first one essentially to sue somebody and take it into litigation to actually work out all the bugs of the language. So at this point in time, it's business as usual, and hopefully that's how it stays.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right. Any old business that we'd like to talk about? Okay. New business. I guess I'm gonna apologize to Dan. Can you want to tell us a little bit about yourself? Why you got involved? I should have done that at the beginning of the meeting, but sorry.
So a lifelong resident of the Iowa City area. I grew up on the east side of Iowa City. Did my schooling at Iowa. I have a bachelor's degree in geology, so that's kind of my background. Spent the last 17 years in environmental consulting. So I work for a firm called Terracon. Manage the environmental department, so we do a whole host of environmental related things, from stormwater to wetlands and contamination related stuff. So that's kind of my background, and lived in North Liberty for almost 10 years and just looking to get involved. So that's why I applied.
Thank you for signing up for the opportunity, and we'll appreciate your voice on this board as it relates to stormwater treatment management. Just a little bit. I'm an engineer at trade, work in Cedar Rapids. Electrical engineers, do a micro component stuff. So also active in the community here. Decided to get involved and lend a voice to some of the issues that don't get a lot of publicity but are really important to me, nature. So, Kevin?
I got involved because I love trees, I guess. And so anything we can do to maintain those, and I know they're a valuable part of stormwater management as well. And so my kids kind of call me the Lorax because I love trees so much. So
There you go.
that's why I'm here.
Me?
Yep.
Grace Baxter. I think I know you from somewhere. I am the MS4 coordinator and stormwater person for the University of Iowa, and then I also live here. So I came on a long time ago. Long time ago. So
Michael Burrell. I've lived and worked in Cedar Rapids, lived in North Liberty for the last 15 years. Probably similar to most people, just want to get more involved in the community. And I love nature and outdoors, so I thought this was a good fit.
Thanks everybody for your volunteering and re-upping your membership as it comes to expire. So, all right, with that, we'll move on to our next meeting schedule. Next meeting would be October 9th at 7 p.m. Same location. And with that, we'll take a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
second.
All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, meeting adjourned. Thank you everybody for coming.